There will never be a good video game based movie in my lifetime. Now, do I think there will ever be a good video game movie at some point? Absolutely. But I'll be dead by then. And even if we do get one, why would you want one? Because no matter how good the movie will be, it will never be as good as the video game. There is so much more you can do in a video game compared to a movie, which is why certain things in video games don't translate well in movies. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is very improbable. And there are some people out there that say they want a video game movie because even if it is bad, it would still give more eyes to the video games. So the people who watch the movies would want to check out the games. And at first, I was on the same boat with these people too, but I'll give you an example that makes this claim bullshit. A lot of my friends have watched those shitty Resident Evil movies, and not once have they ever thought about picking up the games. So it doesn't matter how good the movie is or how bad the movie is. If they wanted to pick up the games, they'd just pick up the games. But today, we're not here to talk about the games. No, today, I'm going to rank every video game movie in one sentence or less. An original concept that I came up with because I'm such a genius. Now, the only rule I'm giving myself for this list is that I'm only going to do the live action movies. I'll do the animated films some other time. So grab your popcorn, grab your soda, and sit your fat ass in a chair as you watch me torture myself when I rank every video game movie thus far. Oh, good lord.
Monkey!
I actually liked this movie as a kid, and I don't know why. The best thing in this movie was Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that is not a good thing. The best video game movie bar none, and gave us a kick-ass song to boot. So much bad CGI! Never played the game or saw the movie, so I'm just gonna assume that this was amazing. Okay, I know this movie is bad, but it was so over the top that I actually found it enjoyable. Ah yes, and right here is the start of a terrible franchise. The last movie might have been over the top, but this was just dumb. The game didn't even have good dialogue, but this makes the game look like Shakespeare. This was better than the first one, but I mean, that's just like saying a punch in the face is better than a kick in the dick. I'd rather sit in a dark room alone than to ever watch this movie again. This might be the worst film The Rock was in. Well, it's at least up there. This may not be anywhere near as good as the games, but I'll at least give credit for the amazing visuals and soundtrack in this movie. I saw this with a friend, and I feel like watching porn would have been less embarrassing than watching this with him. And here we are with the final Resident Evil movie. Wait, hold on, let me read the Wikipedia page. Let's see here. There are 3 more?! The fact that this was a comedy, and I laughed at all the parts that weren't supposed to be funny, is where you fail as a comedy. I wasn't even a big fan of the games, so I had low expectations coming in. Never saw it, so I'm just gonna give it the caution seal. They made a movie out of this game? I feel like if they went the Tomb Raider route and made it over the top as possible, this would have been amazing. How did you make this worse than the first movie? I didn't mind fighting games being turned into movies, but why did you have to touch my favorite fighting franchise? I gave Disney way too much credit thinking they were gonna make this movie good. This felt more like a video game more than the actual Resident Evil games. Will you stop with these Resident Evil movies already? For me, this is the worst video game movie. Because they actually had something in the first one. Now they killed it. What? I wasn't even a big fan of the last movie, so I had low expectations coming in. Some parts felt slow at times, but this was actually a pretty decent movie. I am almost impressed that you were actually able to make the concept of Magneto becoming an assassin so boring. This was the best Resident Evil movie because it was the last one. Is it wrong that I prefer Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider over this one? I never saw this movie, but a friend of mine who has bad taste said it was amazing, so I'm just gonna assume that this was terrible. Even though I have a soft spot for Mortal Kombat, this is currently the best video game-based movie. And that would be a positive for things to come, but considering that this is the next video game movie, we are done! We are dead! It is game over, man! Game over!